But how did your writing journey essentially begin?
It began with a really crappy antique typewriter that my parents found at like a garage sale. And this is back, in the day, I'm dating myself for sure, but this is back when you could walk into an office supply store and they had every kind of typewriter ribbon like up on this one wall. And so my parents went and got like the last dusty ones that were there that could actually fit this typewriter. And I started writing. At the time, I was in love with Robert Stack and the unsolved mysteries that he would talk about. That was
Yeah.
the voice that would lull me to sleep every night. And so, of course, I wrote a couple of articles about UFOs and missing people and Sasquatch and just random things that captured my interest. And then after that, I started writing letters to people, and my parents would send them. And I actually was able to see a couple of those, a couple like just not even 2 years ago. My auntie sent me one of the letters and was like, "Do you remember writing this?" And I'm reading it and I'm like, "Wow, this is completely unhinged." And I would write little short stories to people about what I envisioned their day being like. And for whatever reason, I envisioned my Aunt Heidi chilling with walruses. She's a cardiac nurse. I don't know why the hell I thought that. Um, and so from there, I started to, I think I was one of those like really hyperverbal kids. I read things. We were poor enough. We didn't really have cable. We didn't have a lot of television options. And my dad was like, "We're watching football." Oh, okay. So I would read like the encyclopedia or whatever the hell I could get my hands on. And it started with Robert Heinlein. Definitely not the stuff you would probably give to like a 9 or 10-year-old. And then like Clan of the Cave Bear, those types of classics. And then I was super into Star Trek The Next Generation. Like my parents got me a VCR and I taped all of them after school. And I found a Trapper Keeper from when I was a kid, and it has a list of all the different episodes and like when they came on and what videotape I had saved them on. So I wrote stories based off of the Star Trek The Next Generation as well. I wrote my own fanfic before I knew that fanfic was like a thing. Um, and I have reread some of those stories. They are terrible, by the way, just awful. But my love for The Next Generation definitely shows. Uh, and I found Robert Jordan when I was about 14. And it was at about that point that I really liked it. I liked Tolkien. I liked Robert Jordan. I liked all of this added detail. And as I've gotten older, I'm like, I can do this myself. I don't need all that detail. I can make it up in my own head. So I've lost patience for the things that used to keep me going. And so I'll go back and look at what I wrote as a 14 or 15-year-old. And you can see there's a lot of inspiration from, a small group of kids for whatever weird, fantastical reason has to leave on horseback to go and fight some sort of mystical problem. And it was very, very, what you would expect, I think, as a categorical fantasy writing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about when I was 19, I really hit my stride and realized that I like science fiction, and I'll read just about anything. Um, Even kind of like those smutty romance novels. If they're funny, I will read them. But if they're not funny or intense in some way, shape, or form, if there's not more to the plot, I've wasted my money and my time. This is not happening. So I don't mind them. I'll ravenously read whatever is put in front of me most of the time. So anyway, I've gone afield there, but that's kind of my writing journey. I definitely wrote Shattered Hollows. I started the series about 10 years ago, and I had no idea. And I feel like I should state this. Like I should probably have a disclaimer somewhere on the book that, like Donald J. Trump was not even a blip on my radar when I started this. Okay. And so now I have a 4-book series that is about the rise of fascism and how people must overcome it and what it looks like. And it's a little too prescient for my own comfort at times. I'll go back and reread it and I'm like, people are going to be fucking mad at me. And they're going to think I wrote this about this guy. And not at all. It was the reason I picked the time that I did is just to kind of show that when you have a social construct of any kind, the moment it becomes unbalanced, it's highly unlikely that somebody isn't going to try to take advantage of that, you know. And so just about every form of government has dealt with this before, where, you know, even communist regimes, socialist regimes, places that we have a republic, other places that are true democracies have dealt with the rise of fascism. And it comes about for all sorts of different reasons. But most of it, I think, deep down inside is because when we are like socially unstable, we like deep down inside, people crave organization. And so that's where we get like this tipping of the table. And it's all based on fear. And as much as people are like, oh, I hate this thing, I'm like, pretty sure you mean you're afraid of it. So it's all this kind of fear-based motivation. Anyways, I can get really far afield when I'm talking. Feel free to always pull me back. You guys say you're the tangent kings. I might be the empress. We'll see. So that's where my writing journey has kind of led me to, is understanding that, you know, most science fiction is kind of like thinly veiled socio-economic commentary of some kind. And I didn't really mean for it to be that. It's just I started to write and that's what it became. And I'm definitely a grower when it comes to my writing. I don't know what the hell is going to happen. I do not always have an ending in mind. Sometimes I'll have a scene in mind that I really hope I can get in there. But otherwise, I get in there and I let the world tell me what it is and the characters tell me where they're going, which to me is thrilling, because then I don't have to have everything planned out, and I plan out literally everything else because I'm a scientist and a vice president and I cannot function otherwise. But it's not my favorite way to live. I'm an intuitive processor and I like to feel my way through things, because if it doesn't feel right, I need time to sit and like be with that.